Hi there, all you little munchkins. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I think we did read a story before about the Three Bears, but I think this one is different. This is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Oh, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. Oh, this should be fun. The Three Bears were a very happy family. Every day they would eat porridge and relax in their comfortable chairs. They really enjoyed being together. One morning, the bears sat down to eat breakfast or porridge, but the porridge was too hot to eat. See them with their bowls? See the steam coming up from the bowl? Papa Bear looked at his family and said, "Say, why don't we go for a walk? When we return, our porridge will be cool enough for us to eat." The Three Bears rose from the table and went for a pleasant stroll in the forest. At the edge of the forest was a pretty little house. In this house lived a little girl named Goldilocks. Goldilocks was a very nice child. She was always polite and always listened to her parents, which everybody should do. All little children should listen to their parents, shouldn't they? One morning, Goldilocks went outside to pick some flowers. She was not supposed to go into the forest, but when she saw some pretty flowers growing a little ways in the woods, she decided to go and pick them. But we shouldn't do that, should we? We shouldn't go off by ourselves. In the forest, she saw more pretty flowers to pick, so she walked a little further into the woods. Then deeper in the forest, she saw even more pretty flowers. So again, she walked a little further into the woods to pick them. Ooh, that's not very good when you do that when you're by yourself, is it? You shouldn't walk away from your mommy and daddy. Soon Goldilocks' hands were full of flowers and she decided to go back home. But she had wandered so far in the forest, she had gotten lost. Goldilocks started walking, hoping that she would, in time, come to the edge of the forest. So on she walked and on, without stopping to rest. She had to be so tired that she was lost. After a while, Goldilocks came to the little cottage. She knocked on the door and said, "Hello," but there was no answer. Goldilocks was getting worried about being lost. So even though she knew it was wrong to go into someone else's house without being invited, she opened the door and went inside. We don't go in anybody's house, do we, unless somebody's at the door and lets us go in and Mom and Daddy say it's okay. No one was inside the cottage, so Goldilocks looked around. She went into the kitchen and saw 3 bowls of porridge on the table. She knew it was wrong to eat someone else's food, but she was so hungry, she decided to have a taste. We shouldn't do that, should we? This is just a story. The porridge in the first bowl was too hot. The porridge in the second bowl was too cold. But the porridge in the third bowl was just right. Yummy. Before she knew it, Goldilocks had eaten all the porridge in the bowl. She ate the one that was so good. After eating, Goldilocks felt like relaxing. In the living room, she found 3 chairs. She knew it was wrong to sit in someone else's chair without asking, but she was so worn out that she decided to sit down and relax for a little while. We don't go in other people's houses and sit on their furniture, do we? That's just a story. Remember that. The first chair was too hard. The second chair was too soft. But the third chair was just right. Goldilocks sat in the chair for a while, but she was too heavy for it, and the chair broke in pieces. She broke the chair. Goldilocks was getting sleepy now. She walked into the bedrooms and saw 3 beds. She knew it wasn't nice to take a nap in someone else's bed, but she was very tired. The first bed was too hard. The second bed was too soft. But the third bed was just right. Goldilocks soon fell fast asleep. About this time, the 3 bears came home. Oh dear, let's see what happens. The three bears went into the kitchen to eat their porridge. Papa Bear looked at his bowl and said, "Somebody's been eating my porridge." Mama Bear said, "Somebody's been eating my porridge." Baby Bear frowned and said, "And somebody's been eating my porridge and they ate it all up." The three bears went into the living room. Papa Bear said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." Mama Bear said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." And Baby Bear looked at his chair that was lying in pieces on the floor and cried, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair and it's all broken." He was so sad. The three bears decided to look around the cottage to see if anything else was out of place. They went into the bedroom. Papa Bear said, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed." Mama Bear said, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed too." Little Baby Bear looked at his little bed and said, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed and she's still sleeping in my bed." The bears stood around the bed and looked at the sleeping Goldilocks. Can you imagine finding somebody sleeping in your bed, especially another little girl or a little boy? "Why, it's a little human child," said Papa Bear. At the sound of his voice, Goldilocks spoke up. She was very scared when she saw the bear standing over her. Mama Bear smiled at Goldilocks and said, "Don't worry, little one. We won't harm you." Goldilocks asked Papa Bear. Papa Bear chuckled and said, "Oh, goodness, no." Goldilocks told them how she had wandered into the woods to pick flowers and had gotten lost. Papa Bear told Goldilocks that she should never go wandering into the woods by herself and that she should always make sure her mother and father knows where she is. We should always let our Mama and Papa know where we're at, right? They take you there. Goldilocks thought of her mother and father, and tears began to run down her cheeks. "Oh, I'm going to be lost forever, Papa Bear." I'm going to be lost forever." Papa Bear said, Now, little one, don't cry. Why, we'll help you get back home." "Really?" asked Goldilocks. "Why, of course. No one knows these words better than we, bears. You'll be home before you know it." Goldilocks and Baby Bear climbed up on Papa Bear's back, and they all walked into the woods. After walking for a long time, they stopped. Papa Bear pointed with his great big paw and said, "Is that your house over there, Goldilocks?" Goldilocks smiled brightly and said joyfully, "Oh, yes." She was so happy to see her house. "Thank you so much for helping me," Goldilocks said with a smile. The three bears smiled at their new little friends. "Goodbye, Goldilocks," they said with a wave of their paws as they headed happily back into the woods. See them waving there? That was a good story, wasn't it? It was just a story. Just remember, it's just a story. Toodaloo!